I don't hear myself. All right. So what's new? Welcome to Spokane Talks on online, Spokane Talks live, and Chris Patterson from Breakthrough, one of our sponsors, by the way, I should mention, is my guest co-host, and you're surviving this.
I am, as
Yeah,
usual.
Yeah. And
You're not too rough.
A few jokes here and there, and usually at my expense, but anyway. Chris Crago from McNeice Wheeler. And there are attorneys, and someone comes in every week to talk about what's going on. And what are you going to talk about today?
I'm going to talk about entity selection. There's a lot of people out there who are looking to start their own businesses, and they need to figure out what form they want to have that business be in.
Okay.
There's the sole proprietorship, which is you don't want to take any form, or the C corporation, the S corporation, the LLC, and the partnership route. So there's a lot of different choices that people can make.
And there are different reasons to do the different ones, right? Like our company is an LLC, and and I know the sole proprietorship, and so I mean, explain what some of those are, because I'm not sure I could intelligently explain the differences. So let's start with sole proprietor.
So a sole proprietorship is if you go out and you start your own business, you don't incorporate as anything. You're just basically doing business as yourself. You can have a name, you can have an office, but you don't have liability protection that the state statutes offer.
Okay. So you're kind of taking it on yourself. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Which could put your house and home and family and everything else in a vulnerable position, right?
Definitely. And that's why it's important to kind of look into the different entity structures to see what fits for you. Now, there is also a cost involved in trying to get your own entity started. But the next step up from the sole proprietorship, you probably look at the corporation. That's what most people see, tax the corporations, let's make the corporations pay. So maybe you don't want to be a corporation these days.
Right.
But the corporation is going to be the most strict structure of an entity. It requires you to have annual meetings, and instead of owners, you have shareholders, and you're beholden to your shareholders, and you have a board of directors, and there's a lot that's involved in that. Now, with all of these different...
And that's what you are, right?
I am, correct.
Right.
Are you a 501c3 S corporation? Ah, you're an S corporation. You're the mixture of...
Of course he is.
And S corporations are great. They have a lot of advantages to them, and they're all of these have advantages and disadvantages to them. There's not one perfect solution. Even though there are people out there that will say an LLC is the perfect solution, it really just depends on a multitude of factors as to what you're trying to accomplish.
Right. What your business is.
What your business is, how you're going to get in, and most important, how you're going to get out.
Okay.
And
sometimes people don't think about that part, about getting out, do they?
No. You often think about how to catch the bear, but now what do you do with it?
How do you let him loose without him turning on you? Yeah.
So, the S corporations are kind of a hybrid of a partnership and a C corporation, but as you know, they can only have certain people and entities as shareholders.
Okay.
So if you were trying to bring in foreign equity into your business and foreign investment, that would not be the entity selection for you. Or if you were going to have a trust that wouldn't comply with the regulations of being a shareholder, that's definitely something that you would want to shy away from.
Okay.
But there are other benefits to that. There's the ability to take out, to segregate your ordinary income and your capital gains income.
Okay.
So there are a lot of advantages to that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little more strict than the LLC, but there are some planning features that might be more readily available to somebody.
Okay.
You have the partnership, which is just a little step above sole proprietorship. You've incorporated and essentially
But it puts the liability on the partners, though, too, can't it?
In a general partnership, all the partners are going to be liable for the debts of the partnership. but they can also have general partner and a limited partner.
Okay.
Limited partners are generally not going to be liable for the debts
Okay.
of the entity, but they're also not going to have any real managerial rights or voting power.
Okay.
That's all going to be generally held in the general partnership.
And then what about the LLC?
The LLC is essentially a statutorily approved contract between parties to create a business. Now,
Okay.
a partnership has to have at least 2 people. An LLC
Right.
can have 1. A C corporation can have 1. An S corporation can have 1.
Okay.
But that's one of its benefits is it's essentially a contract. You can make it do whatever you want within
okay.
certain guidelines.
Okay.
And
But
it
an
gives the most
LLC, you can't have
flexibility.
partners, if you will, or shareholders, or
Well, in an LLC, you have members.
members. Okay.
And unlike the S corporation that limits the type of shareholders that you can have, an LLC, generally everybody's going to be able to qualify as a member.
Okay.
And you can either have it managed by the members or it can be managed by a manager
Right.
who does all the day-to-day operations for it.
Right.
But like I said, just going over the tax implications is not enough. It really, if someone's really going to start looking at what entity they need to do their business, they really need to look beyond just the tax applications, because there may be some other feature of another entity that works better for them and helps them accomplish what they're trying to do.
So therefore, they need to engage somebody like you so that you can go through the options and what would be best for their individual circumstance, right?
We could certainly help them out with that. It is a good idea to talk to a lawyer or at a minimum, really read up on these different structures and try to figure out what works best for you if you are going to do it.
So you may come in with an idea, but I still come back to you need the expert so that you don't have to redo later on. I
or
mean,
try to fix
what,
something that may be broken beyond repair.
Yeah. And that's usually costly.
Yeah,
More
that's
costly than starting
and
out,
usually
right?
too late.
Yeah.
I would rather people came to me with a should I do this or a
Than
rather
fix
than
me.
a I did this and I think I did it wrong.
Yeah. Although maybe from your side you'd like to see that once in a while because that's more billable hours. You know what I mean?
It's certainly a little more interesting.
Yeah, interesting. That's a very kind word for some folks who get into trouble. But Chris, how can people reach you?
People can reach me at McNeice Wheeler. Our phone number there is 509-928-4141. And I'm always there to answer anybody's questions.
Chris Crago is the name to contact about forming your business, and you guys have helped me. So in fact, we've changed our name from Spot On Media to Spokane Talks Online LLC because
excellent.
that's what we're doing. And our focus 2 years ago was much larger, and now it's the radio, TV, and so we're calling ourselves what we are.
Yeah.
So
Well, and that's a lot of what you're dealing with here is sometimes the situation changes.
yeah, well, exactly. But I had to deal with Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
you get what you pay for, right? Yeah. Hey, Chris, thank you very much.
All right,
Good
thank you.
information. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back to talk about robots.